Hi, this is Jacob with PCTechGuide.com, and today we're going to be having an interview coming up in just a minute with Crypto Girl from CryptoProphecy.com. Now, full disclaimer here, I am not a financial advisor, so do your own homework. If you're interested in crypto, however, I think you're going to like this interview coming up. She goes into a number of things that are quite interesting. She talks about her investment style and the two main investment styles that most people who trade crypto have, and goes into quite a bit of detail of the two and how the two differ from each other. And from there, we kind of go in, we talk about the bad actors in the space, key things to look out for with ICOs, and then a little about the service that she's offering. And the service that she offers is quite interesting, and it's for those who haven't necessarily done crypto before, who don't know how to trade crypto, who haven't been interested or have just now gotten interested in the crypto trading space as a whole. And so her method that she developed, I think, is quite unique and simplifies the process overall. And in this space, if you've watched any crypto videos or crypto investing videos online, you'll notice that there's no women, next to no women at all on this. So, connecting with her was fantastic. Whenever I go to meetups, it's pretty much always guys talking about crypto. So to get a female perspective on this, I think really adds value. And she was able to take something that was really, really complicated, and she kind of breaks it down into simplicity. And I like that. And so there's three key elements behind why she thinks the value of certain select coins will skyrocket. She's going to cover that in the video, and she's also going to drop a few names. I wasn't sure that she was going to, just because she does have her own, she needs to make money like everyone who's running a product or a service. But she freely seems very, very genuine and wants to help people out. So she dropped a number of names out there of coins that she personally likes, and she also talks about buying and selling cryptos as a whole. And if you look in the description below here, I won't have it in the first day, but by the second day, I should add in a description to an email form for you for an ICO guide that I wrote. There's numerous mistakes that are easy to make when starting and investing in an ICO. And with the guide, what I've been able to do is kind of walk you through some of the pitfalls and some really simple things with just 15 minutes of research to see whether, hey, this is a scam or something that's not really new and doesn't add any real world value, or if it's a decent ICO that possibly might have a chance to take off. So it's a great guide. I've gone through the ringer on a number of ICOs. It's taken me a while to get it down. Now that I've gotten the method down pat for me, I'm happy to share it with you. All right, and here's the video. Hi, this is Jacob, serial entrepreneur and speculator, and today we're talking with none other than Crypto Girl. I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, Jacob. Thank you so much for having me today. So I started learning about crypto land 2017 around March and April, and I wasn't sure if I was doing something that was legal, and I had a friend in California that was like reading this book called 2018 Annihilation, and in the last 2 pages of the book it said, hey, things are going to get really bad out here. It was like one of those prepper type books by Commander Z, and it said, go to this thing called Coinbase, buy Ethereum low, sell it high, and get ready, for like the end of the world. And so, he was like, oh, I was in such prepper mode. I was like buying bottles of water. So he jumped right into that stuff and ended up making $20,000 on Neo. And so by, March, April, I was watching this stuff. I was like, I don't know if this is legal. And I was signing up for this Coinbase thing. And I was so like out of my realm of like simplicity and normalcy of like banking. And so long story short, when he made $20,000 on Neo, I just went right in, and I was so glad. So I kept on, like, anytime I had extra money, $25, $50, I'd throw it into my Coinbase. I'd buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and then I learned that there's things called altcoins, and I had to go into like these other, I call it like there's an exchange, USD or your fiat money for like this, we'll call it like digital currency, right? And then like you could go into these other things, I call it the market, like the grocery store, like the token stores, and you can buy these things called altcoins. And at this point, I really didn't know what I was doing. I could only talk to him like one time a week. He had a girlfriend, and I was like his old friend from like, when we were 21. And so I was like, oh my God, can you talk? And so I was like under the radar talking and trading. And so I remember scanning Bittrex for like the cheapest coins, right? Because if I had $25, what can I get for $25, right? So I found this thing called Verge. It was like 0.00248 cents. So for $25 at that price, I could get 10,000 coins. And so one of my fabulous like things that happened last year is Verge on August 17th, it was like that 0.00248 cents. And by December, like something like 30th or something, it went to 30 cents. So the $25 went to $3,000. I was like, ah. So, I mean, I had like nobody to talk to, and I'm like in this little like small town called Monroe, Connecticut, and I was like, nobody knows what I'm talking about. My friend was in LA. I mean, he was going to parties. They were talking about this. Him and the guy that worked with him, they had these like graphs going, and he was very limited with his information. So, and then I ended up just going full-fledged and just decided, all right, I'll be a crypto girl and help people, because nobody was really there consistently daily for me or weekly with really good findings and honesty and how to really make it happen. But I was able to multiply my initial investment by 3 times. So, and learn so much more. So I really want to be like the welcome wagon of crypto land and help people know, okay, this is a safe zone, a danger zone, and this is okay. At this point, it's okay. Things change, the Wild West. So, sorry.
Exactly. Good explanation. Thank you for that. And where do you tend to trade these tokens at?
So, well, wherever they are. I'm slightly obsessed with CoinMarketCap's recently added list, because if I can't get into an ICO because I'm an American citizen, I'm a rule follower, then the fastest and easiest way to get it once it comes out of ICO is CoinMarketCap recently added. And in that area, if I'm getting a coin that just got out of ICO and I know the project is awesome and I've done some research on the team and it's going to be a long-term hodl, then a lot of times they're first on Ether Delta, which is a very complex, not very simple exchange to buy stuff on. So if I want that product, I will, I guess, dumpster dive almost for like the harder exchanges to get onto. But Binance or Bittrex are good. But here's the thing, depending on where you're located, some of these companies don't want to do business with people that are citizens of certain countries. So really, the coins are not all on every marketplace. So I've had to over the years become approved to be on many different exchanges to get what I want.
Yeah, so you really have to shop around. Unlike having a regular brokerage account, you're saying, well, you need several of these accounts to be able to take advantage of the different coins as they're released.
Yeah, it's a project. So yeah, exactly. That's for fundamental trading. And then for technical trading, I guess if I really didn't care about the project and holding it long term, if I was in there to ride the hype and then get off, then I would, pick an exchange and stick to that one. So that Binance would be good for that, or Bittrex, depending on the country of origin that you're from.
Okay, sounds good there. And have you seen a lot of bad actors in the crypto space?
So, oh my gosh, I heard the story. Well, here's one thing. Being in this space and having like a little fan base on Facebook, I get like pursued by a lot of people trying to probably scam me, and I'm like, not being a scammer myself. Like I'm not prepared for this, right? Like I don't really go around thinking, right? Like, all right, let's all be a big happy family. Let's just move forward together. So I got called by this from Israel, and I'm like, all right, let's FaceTime. No, it's Saturday. I can't talk on Saturday. I'm like, oh, that's weird. I'm like, well, how do you like manage? If I give you money, what do you do? She's like, well, we buy it for you. I'm like, red flag. So like that is a red flag. Like the blockchain technology, the entire system, Satoshi designed it. So it's the human being and the money, and there's no in between, and that's that's the gold of this. That is the underlying principle of this. And so when someone distorts the integrity of the system, that triggers me. And I'm like, that's it. Like, we need more positive forces in this platform to say, look, it is positive. Like, an old boyfriend of mine was in the FBI, and I'm like, what do you think about this? He goes, it's bad. And I'm like, they really tweaked your brain. I am like, all right, click. You know, because like, it's not, but it's sad that someone that actually is deeply embedded and their career is with the government, and they've really done that. I think of like Jamie Dimon telling all of his employees, don't buy this, you'll be fired. And then the next day, the next weekend, he's the biggest buyer in the industry at that time. You know, thank God I mean, how do we have, like, on a technical perspective, how do we know it was Jamie Dimon that did that? You know, that could be not true, but so many sources are saying it is. So the point is like, I love that statement. They say, don't do what someone tells you to do what they do. Mm-hmm. Right?
Makes total sense there. And yeah, I tend to agree with you when it comes to bad actors. Anytime there's money to be made and an industry is hot, you'll definitely, that's where, you know, the bad actors tend to flock to. And right now, you know, crypto isn't at its peak like it was just a few months ago, but still there's a lot going on in the industry, and it's definitely something that's going to continue to hold strong, I believe. And so, can you speak a little bit to what's the current state of the ICOs that are out there? And for everyone out there, ICO stands for Initial Coin Offering. Can you tell us a little bit about, you touched a little bit about an ICO. Can you go in a little bit more detail what an ICO is and how they work?
Yeah, so I think this is really important. The last 10 years of my life, I've worked for the probably the highest net worth people in the U.S. Like, I'm in Greenwich, Connecticut, and unfortunately, I've kind of had to like step away from that industry because I'm so excited about this one. But a little bit about me in the past is like, I have selflessly served as an event planner or server in these high net worth families' houses that have made so much money, an entire, you know, lifetime of money in the banking industry. Okay, so I know the results of good investments. Now, in the traditional stock market, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I've been hearing and learning so far, is that in order to invest in an IPO, initial public offering, on the traditional stock exchange, you have to make $250,000 a year for 3 years consecutively. You have to have $1 million net worth that doesn't consist of the value of the house. Now, you know, the people, like the mass amount of people in the world, we don't have that, okay? And so maybe this is the wrong qualifications and they could be changing, I don't know. But the point is, to invest in an initial public offering, it's like one of these things like, for instance, with an initial coin offering, it's the same thing. It's a company that is coming to be, and you usually invest like 1 cent. Here's an example of an ICO, so equivalent ICO, IPO, right? But one more thing, like in an ICO, initial coin offering, there is no requirements other than the company that is selling the ICO has to agree that they'll do business with citizens of your country. So the beauty of this is, in the past, you know, the top 1% were the only ones allowed in there. The formula and a lot of Wharton, you know, Wharton, I see tons of wealth. There's a certain faith, and Wharton becomes billionaire. I don't know why. I'll go and, you know, not for this video. Anyways, the point is that an ICO is equivalent to an IPO. So now we all have this huge advantage. Now, one of the examples of an ICO I did last year is it was 1 penny to get in, and I bought it with Ethereum, but the financial calculations was 1 penny, okay? Then it soon went onto the market, so it went through the ICO stage, they collected all their money, that went onto the market, and it literally jumped up to 23 cents. So, like, for everything, and like every penny, I got 23 cents back. If I would have cashed out then. But remember, I was new last year, right? I was learning this. So I really didn't catch the cash in, or they call it take profit in this industry, until it went to 10 cents. And I was still able, like, to 10 times my money, which was amazing. Now, in real world, right? If I was, the multi-billionaire and I had $1 million and I was buying $1 million worth, then that would have multiplied 10 times. Now that's how you see these people in these huge homes. You have the driver, the nanny, you have the event planner, me, and you can spend $180,000 on one 5-hour party because people are like, it's real. It's real, guys. People do have that wealth. And how do they do it? This is why I'm so passionate about this, because this is the time when literally, like, you could be making monies for lifetimes. You could lose it too. So there's ICOs that are good, that are real, legit. That's why the white papers are important.
Okay, yeah, and I think we'll touch on the white papers here in just a second. I think. What's your investment style? Do you focus on kind of what's hot right now, or really what offers real world value?
So that would be called like technical trading versus like fundamental trading. So
Okay.
fundamental is like understanding the team, the technology, and then you take into consider the hype. And then with technical trading, it's like, all right, you're a desk jockey, you're taking your phone during toilet time, you're watching the market, right? But I've designed a system that is helpful so you don't have to really take it during toilet time, right? So I'm diversified. So there are projects that are part of my heart. I mean, there's some simple things that right now they are at a right price to buy. What I'm saying is I hodl them and I lost money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I love them. I'm going to keep them. So one of them is I call them disruptors in the industry. So Car Vertical, it's a platform on the blockchain, and it will replace Carfax. And I grew up I started working in the auto industry in Atlanta, Georgia, and there's so much money in vehicles. And what I love about the Car Vertical product is that you have a VIN number. Now, if that car gets stolen from the USA and takes it to another country, and they're trying to sell it on the black market, with Car Vertical, that VIN number's in there. No matter, it's on the blockchain, so we're global now. Anybody going into Car Vertical looking up that VIN number knows exactly where it was. You tell them the maintenance records. So I love that project. And then you have another disruptor in the, so I'm diversified into different areas. So in the phone industry, there's this thing called Dent, D-E-N-T. And with Dent, it's like if I go from the United States to London and I wanted to have a cheap data plan for being overseas, then if you were in London, you could share your unlimited data with me and you would get paid in Dent coins.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard of that one. That's really interesting.
Really fun. So it's what it is. It's like you are a human being, I am, and we're both sharing our resources and we're being able to make money. So back to Car Vertical, I'm hoping that eventually once you go and get maintenance done and you're telling the Car Vertical file, yep, I did my maintenance, my oil change is done. So not only are you bringing up the resale value of your car, but I'm hoping as more dealerships adopt this tracking system, that for service repairs of your car, they'll take Car Vertical coins. Like that's where I think this should go. So you're earning repair dollars as you're giving them information. So you're getting paid for giving your data. So the future I see on the blockchain as the internet just flips completely to blockchain internet is like we will be being paid for our data and knowledge personally. It's not one company doing it. And so the other Birdie, B-I-R-D-I, that I heard about when it's in ICO. I don't know where the project is right now, but Birdie is the same thing like Dent to data. Is Birdie will, with the cell phone industry, will give you SMS, text messaging overseas, wherever you are. And then there's Power Ledger, I believe, and this is cellular, like solar power. So that's a disruptor of the power industry. I find that one really exciting. And once I have more time, I want to keep up and look at the white papers and see I love the timeline in the white papers. So I'll get into that in a minute. But so Power Ledger is supposed to come to the United States. And then if you've got solar panels and you have more energy than you need, you could sell it to your neighbor and get Power Ledger coins, right? And then, do whatever you want with them. So those are some things that I love. So yes, I do have some hodlers, and then I do have some that when you just need money right away. If your end game is USD, then you can get in there and you can do some technical trading. So one of the coins fundamentally I don't believe in is Ripple. But but I made money on it. So that's a technical trade, right? Okay, so sometimes I have to take a moral step back and say, all right, look, I just need some USD. I'm gonna hustle Ripple. So my 11-year-old, I taught him how to move money through the blockchain, and he's like, Mom, I really want some new skins for Fortnite. and at first I gave him Digibyte. He gave me $5 for Digibyte, and he's like, sell Digibyte. It's 5 cents. And I'm like, no, hodl it. And I felt so bad. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll give you my Ripple. So he took Ripple, and he's like, all right, good, because I need some more Bcash. I'm like, what's this? So this is where we're going. My 11-year-old takes Ripple, and it's sitting on an exchange. So he sells it. He gets it to Bitcoin. He takes the Bitcoin, takes it to GDAX, takes it from GDAX to Coinbase into my bank account. And like one day I had, boom, a little text coming on my phone, like, oh, your deposit's here. I'm like, oh, Jake, you got your money. He goes, now take that and get me a gift card so I can go on and I can buy my new skins.
And so with the white papers, are there any major red flags that you tend to notice in a lot of them, or in the like?
Well, I think like with white papers are designed for a fundamental trader, and meaning, so for fundamental, it's like you're going for long term. So I like to look at look, we're doing international dealings here, okay? So you need to understand that there's no international lawyer. We have, we're not in the safe zone of USA where, the government's going to get your back in this. It's at your own risk. So you've got to really do your own research. And if you're going to do a fundamental trade, meaning hold it long term, and you have to be keeping up with this too, guys. So in the white papers, I'd like to see the team. That somebody said a really good thing about the ICOs is that if it's a team that's like 15 people, let's be realistic, guys. If you're expecting 15 people to have their full-time attention on this, they have to pay them a lot of money. So big team doesn't mean good project. It just means a lot of money has to go out to time and energy in developing it. It doesn't mean it's going to be fruitful, because you don't want to be paying salaries. You want the technology and advertising. You want the project to continue to grow with low money sometimes. So I think team is not necessarily like the amount of team, it's the quality and the integrity of the team to know that they care about their personal reputation, right? And so it's always good to like get really, if you're gonna go ICO, start understanding the names of people. Look to find other respectable people that are believing in them, because you need to have you need to know that it's going to be long term. So a lot of these ICOs, they'll have, I go to ICOdrops.com and ICObench.com, and if the ICO is not on them, that's a red flag. Right. If they're not allowing like an ICO checker and rater company to look at their ICO, then it's typically a no-go. I made a mistake. Okay, here's one of my mistakes, Sparkle Coin, right? It's not even on there. And for goodness sakes, I was such a newbie. I was suckered, and you learn from the bad things you do. So I paid $37. I was like, yeah. And they're saying, oh, we're going to be on Amazon, and I'm believing in them. And to this day, I mean, I just doink, So I think it's important to like link arms with someone that lost things. Like when we talked earlier, you did a lot of bad deals, and so you learned what doors not to knock.
Me, never. I've never done any bad deal. Yeah. That'll be for another interview. So subscribe, and you'll get to see it.
Yeah, you guys have to listen to Jacob's story, because it's not so much the successes that you want to hear. You want to hear failures, right? So yes, I do own Sparkle Coin, but I mean, it was like, oh, we're backed by diamonds, but it hasn't grown. Okay, to be honest. So that's another long-term hodl. I have to hodl. I think you have hodls because you want to hodl, and then you have I have to hodl because I'm not going to take a 70% loss yet. There's no point in selling it.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. And so you've already talked a little bit about some of the coins you recommend, but without giving away your playbook, what do you see down the line for any specific given tokens?
So there is a huge thing happening. You know how I said, like, if someone wants to buy it for you, that's a red flag. Well, so we have I think it's $18 or $19 trillion in institutional money. And what that means is like the traditional banks, right? Like say there's a college that has like $300 million in a fund. They give it to a stockbroker, and to keep like Yale or Harvard alive, they have to continue to make money upon intuition, right? That's how these huge universities survive. So those people are knocking on their stockbroker's door being like, dude, my little like coat check chick just told me she 1,000 times her money and you're getting me 14%. What's up with this? And they want in on these multipliers. So the stockbrokers are getting heat from underneath. So here we have in this, just this last year, we had Goldman Sachs spent $400 million through like a subsidiary company and bought Poloniex, which is an exchange. I call it like the coin marketplace, right?
My main platform that I trade on. So
okay, well, good choice. So then you had, Diamond Jamie investing in this, and they create a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, to steer people away from this because they want the price to go down so they can get it at the best price. So when it goes up and they hype it, boom, they profited.
Right.
So, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I get so excited about this.
Yeah, it definitely shows for you. And so, to kind of sum it up, you believe that institutional money hasn't fully entered into the market yet. And when institutional money does, it's going to cause a price increase. And you see that as a whole overall in the crypto market.
Well, this is what I was going to get to. So this thing called electronic trade fund, ETF. I get confused with all these like acronyms, but I hope I'm saying it right. The point of this is not so much the acronym, but electronic trade fund. What is happening is Goldman Sachs buying Poloniex. It's like the on-ramp of that money coming in. Currently, we're only at like $300 billion total market cap in the digital currency realm, right? Mm-hmm. So if once that on-ramp for that institutional money comes on and the little crypto lands, right, with major multipliers comes in, that means you're not going to see a coin market cap or market cap of 300 billion. You're going to see like 1 trillion, 2 trillion, 3 trillion. So that's like the wave we're about to be riding on. Like so huge surfs, right? Like if you're in Hawaii, you're riding waves, or Australia, you're like, woo! This is going to be the all-time high of a lifetime. So the word on the street is, I don't know if you guys look at Palm Beach research, it's crazy, like $5,000 a year for like this like research study that Tika does. Now, Tika worked in the industry, and some of those clients I worked for, like his name's on this chalkboard. I'm like, oh my God. And like when people on Bloomberg are talking, like, dude, I know that guy. Like he's the one with like, seltzer and lime. I know their coffee intake, but I know enough to know, like, dude, I've seen that guy. Like, remember. So here's the point about this. So you have this institutional money jumping in. Goldman Sachs isn't going to drop $400 million for nothing, right? So what they've collaborated, like, you have those Israel binary people, right? Well, here's the world of banking. So the electronic trade fund is like this. You have, I need this analogy. So what they're creating, for the people that don't want to learn this stuff, like they don't want to learn what an ICO is, like they're sitting at a W-2 job and they're getting said, oh, here's your 401k. What would you like to invest in? So you have this traditional basket of stocks, and then there's this little basket of crypto, like the Fortune 500 cryptos. So this is important. What is in that little basket, right? What's going to be in the little basket of the overall basket of the crypto? Word on the street is, so, whether it happens or not, they're good coins and they have major multipliers, but Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dash are supposed to be in this little mini basket embedded into these traditional stock basket. So when they go to their 401k guy or something, I want some of that Bitcoin. Well, then boom, it's going to be all wrapped up pretty in a normal traditional stock collaborative like package. And the thing is, this little basket of crypto will probably turn this into major multipliers, but it's hidden. It's like a hidden secret. So right now, what I'm doing is for my hodlers, Litecoin, Dash, and Bitcoin, I'm putting in there. So what's going to happen? That little red button from like Staples, boom, press the red button. Mm-hmm. This is the on-ramp for the stock market to get into crypto within a little realm. So Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash, so that's going to probably take that market cap up to like potential trillions, right? Now, what's going to you have different investors now. You have like kind of like hidden investor. They know they have some of that cryptocurrency stuff, but they don't know how they have it, or they don't even know how to go on an exchange, and they never will. They're just going to see that their overall stock portfolio looks good because they've got to keep it together, because we've got those stock exchanges have to win, right? I mean, we do care about society and we want everything to work. So they're trying to develop a system so that collectively we can all win. But those people that are on the chalkboard of like TICA, which is the Palm Beach Research, that stuff, those people, they're not going to be buying that little market thing for the 401kers, right? They're going into private investments, which is like, so in an ICO, before you get to the ICO, you have private sale. So the ones that have the billions of dollars that they're managing their own money for a living, they're doing private sale into the ICO. So we're lucky to even see ICOs, right? Because some people, because of all the regulations within the financial industry, they're like, forget it. I'm not even going ICO. I have enough wealthy friends. We're just going to do this together and then stick it on the marketplace, right? Yep. So that's where we're at. But it's a very fun, it's a very amazing place. There's so much money to be made, and it's just the beginning right now. But exciting things legally are happening within the USA, so that things are going to be moving on an upward momentum.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Kind of sum it up there. So you see actually two major catalysts coming in. One is institutional money coming into the market, and then private money. And as you mentioned, most people aren't going to be able to buy a Bitcoin because it's rather hard. It's still complicated. Same with a lot of these other currencies. But because they'll have access to it via an ETF, you're going to see a flood of money coming into the ETF via the private sector. And as that money starts to come in, then that'll also add as a secondary lift for supply versus demand. So does that kind of sum it up?
Yeah, I like to simplify it more than that. So basically, if you're looking at a photo, I'm a visual learner, so you have like say you have that right here is where the price of Bitcoin is, or whatever currency you're looking at. It kind of like on a chart reading, it kind of like the price elevates to a more stable place. So there's so much money invested in it that it stays here. And so the goal is to buy it down here and hit a landing place. And then, like I always teach people, if your end game is USD, then you want to set up your sell order. So once it kind of plateaus here and you have, it's called a floor, it hits a floor, like it's not going to go below that, then you may want to up your sell price to up here. Now, so I mean, on a trading perspective, but I think like once the institutional money comes in, it's going to stay. 401ks are not designed to like jump in and jump out and do technical trading with. It's a long-term hodl. So it's going to provide some stability within that cryptocurrency economy.
Yeah, that's a great observation. So that's a strong third point, is once you get the institutional money and private money in there and the pool becomes larger, there's more people, which brings stabilization to the price. So you don't see the rapid fluctuations of price going up, 1,000% in one day, like it does happen with the crypto world.
It could, as this private money. So a lot of the people that I've worked with, like they are, their family money is being managed by like their personal financial people. And as they get approval and as word on the streets, like, dude, you really should do this within that social circle, then you'll see a lot of private family money getting approval. Like if you really are in tune with like that society and what you're hearing there, they're getting more family money, money handlers are getting more approval to go into that realm. So we're talking people that, have like $1 billion, $2 billion under management. So you will see a lot of diversification. The fluctuating triggers for the stock market versus the cryptocurrency market are different. So I've heard people say like to have a more stable portfolio, and I'm not a financial advisor, and I never want to be because I want to speak the truth. Like I'll never be a registered doctor, but I excel in psychology. I like to say the truth. So as you see, like if you've noticed portfolios, to stabilize a portfolio, people are learning that they should have like maybe equal stocks and crypto, so that there's a more diversified portfolio.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, that's a good explanation for it. And we've already touched a little bit on this, but can we recover what's the technical difference? I'm sorry, what's the difference between the technical trading versus fundamental trading? Can we dive a little deeper there?
Absolutely. So, and I think it's a matter of really knowing your own personality, see which one is right for you. So, technical trading is understanding what I call the geometry of the chart. You'll see these really brilliant, smart computer guys, and they love math. And if you were in trigonometry in high school, this could be the one for you. You love to like look at a graph and put the little triangles here. There's these little things called the Elliott wave, Fibonacci. There's these, you can look at a chart and you're watching the movement. It's like looking at an ocean and you see the motion, or the little heartbeat checker at the medical field, right? And you're up, down, up, down. So technical traders, one of the trades they do, okay? There's a lot of different kinds and different movements. Some do it's like shorting, we were talking about earlier, but so they buy low, they sell high, and they're trying to figure out a pattern. So technical trading, they don't really look at the team, they don't look at the long term. Hype does influence this, right? Like if massive amount of people hear good things about this, then they're just going to jump in. So it's going to cause the price to go up. But the technical traders do know as things go up, like a firecracker, it goes down. And it can go down as fast as it goes up. So they're like hedging, and what hedging is like they're like doing bets, right? But they're taking profit, which means they sell at a certain point, and they have formulas. And they've been doing this repetitively day after day after day. I mean, some of the trades, they're not day traders, because the cool thing about this market, it's different from the stock market, is there's no end game. There's no ending. It's 24/7. It's global. It is such a sexy space. It's definitely full of a lot of action. So if your personality can handle huge ups and huge downs, and that you have surplus money to play with, then that's something for you, because you can definitely do some major multipliers. Fundamental is for the very slow and steady turtle. Okay, so let's say technical trading is for rabbits. Boom, 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 fast, 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 fast. And they've got the time and the energy, and they love computers, and they're like a desk jockey. They can sit at a desk all day long. Fundamental trading would be more better for the person that likes to travel, snorkel, fly in a plane, play with their kids, go walk the dog, do all that family stuff. They like dinner at this time, and so a lot of I think home-based moms or dads, would be better at fundamental. That's where you have time to understand the project, the team, the what part of industry you're in. Do you support that? And you're willing to take that whether it's high or low, because it's more like a 401 crypto. Okay, so it's like you're taking this to the moon, which means to like a high point, and you're even okay with keeping this so long that you're going to give it to your kids in their stocking, so that they can keep their little. We have like nano ledgers in this world. Like you take it off the web completely into a little pocket zip drive thing. You give that to your kid in a Christmas stocking with like 400 AION altcoins, because this project is going to take, and you researched it, the project's going to take 8 years like Cisco to get on the market, but that like it's like Cisco at 1999, it's going to go from millions to billions. So you're packing their college education, if you think you even need it by then, right? Full of potential Cisco like AIO and multipliers. So fundamental is like you understand who's behind the project. You know that they're amazing human beings. They have integrity. They're going to stick with the project. They have focus. They're gonna make sure whatever it takes. If they have to stay up 24 hours a day to make this thing work, they're gonna do it. That's fundamental trading, and that you're not really going to sell. It's emotional. Fundamental is emotional. You fall in love with the project, you believe in the people, and you're like there. It's like voting for somebody in a political position. You're doing a 4-year commitment to that.
Okay. And do you focus more on fundamental trading, or do you have a lot of technical tradings? Is it a mix? Is there something for everybody, or how's that work for you?
I'm both.
Okay.
So I, unfortunately, sometimes I know because I believe in this unstoppable blockchain. So I know that I am going to have huge regrets about taking profit, right? But I still live currently, I have to be realistic, in a society that accepts USD. So I still have to take profit, which I cringe, you know? I'm like, ugh, it's not a joyful to take profit because I really want to hodl as much as I can. But, you know, I do, I take profit. So, but the good thing is that because you always have these, just as much of the ups you have the equal amount of downs. So you take profit, and the goal here is to take profit. And then when it drops, you're watching it and you put your buy order in so that you're buying it like after the drop happens. So even though you took like, you know, your major profit here, you kept some money within that realm. You didn't USD it all out. Enough to buy it. You put the buy order in for when it drops like half that price again. So you stick it up. It's like recycling money, recycling digital currency, right? And so then you take that for a ride again. So it's really cool. Buy and sell. Mm-hmm. Buy again low, sell it high. And you can literally just hit that pattern. Right. It's got to be in tune with what's going on and understand the numbers and the translation from USD to Satoshi. Mm-hmm. Satoshi, like for every 100 pennies in a dollar, you have 100 million Satoshis in a Bitcoin. So what I've created is a control panel that currently it doesn't show the Satoshis, but my programmer is doing a 2.0. I can't wait because I realize for someone that's way new, they need to view the world through Satoshis now, like in the trading realm. So it'll be like, all right, so this is the USD price and this is the Satoshi price. Because once you get into this realm, you're trading with Satoshis. And if your end game is USD, you kind of need to know the difference. You've got to know, like, not until everyone accepts Bitcoin on a normal basis, like Venezuela, you know, and Colombia, you still need USD right now. So it's the translation between the two.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. So you offer a crypto service yourself. You talked a little bit about it. Can you go into a little bit more detail on what it is that you're offering and speak to some of the services?
Yeah, sure. So we have a product. It's $37. It's so cheap, and it's for lifetime usage of it. And I'm so excited to have access to like an amazing programmer. And so what I've done is when you're new and you've never traded before, you're like, I can never do that. I don't even understand a chart. So what I've done is kind of pulled the visual chart into numbers. And so currently what it is at, it shows like, if you're looking, there's 1,600 coins, right? And so if you want to figure out the deal of the day, if you're going to go in there and do technical trading only, okay? Then you're like, all right, what's on sale today? As a girl, we'd be like, let's go to the red section at like the Gap and let's see what can I get for 75% off. We leave that store, we spent $200, but we're so freaking excited because the receipt says you spent $200, but if it was normal price, you would have spent $400. So we go home to our husband like, honey, I saved $200. Dude, I spent $200 of your dollar today. We're like, whoa, we saved you $200. Isn't that awesome? So it's like, this is supposed to show you what's the deal of the day, what's in the like clearance section. And so currently it's just 2 colors, but it's going to be implemented with more colors to show what hype is. So what you see right now, though, is a red zone. And that's like, it shows 3 important numbers. The recent dip, the current price, and the all-time high. And so, for example, let's just say, I mean, I'm just going to pull numbers. So say EOS, EOS. It's got some bad hype right now, so I wouldn't, like, you know, just do your own research. I'm just using it as an example. But I think EOS is like around $8. It'll say like the all-time high, and I don't even remember, I can't say what it is. But let's just say it was all-time high at like 18, right? And then the recent dip was like $7. If the recent dip was $7 and the current price is $8, then the system, the control panel is going to say red. Because it's not at the lowest dip. Like what happens at a point is it goes down, and then like people are like, oh, I want to buy it because it's so low. They're like, oh, it's in the clearance section, I can buy it. They buy it, so the price is going up, and you've got to be aware that when the price goes up, the people that bought low, there's a profit. That difference that you see, they can sell at any time and take their profit. So you need to understand that, hey, there's people out there that may just be like technical traders, and they're just in and out to make $100, $200, $300 today. So they're taking like their thousands of dollars, they're buying it, there's a profit place, they can take it. And you don't want to be, if you're looking to get instant money on a technical trade, you don't want to be caught in that dump. Call it like a pump and dump, right? That is probably a really bad scenario. There are people that literally do so much hype, and like within seconds it goes up and then it goes down because you have this major investor that, and well, we can get into detail, but it's important that if you get hyped by somebody, go in that particular coin and see the recent buys on one of the exchanges. And when you see deep down in there someone bought like 1 million of these coins, that's probably that transaction that's behind the pump and dump. I did it all. I lost. I did it. Stuck into those. Like, no way. In seconds, and you can't sell it when everyone's dumping at the same time. So you got to be strategic about this and be one of the educated traders.
Mm-hmm. So your interface is offering more of a graphic user interface of showing you clear signals that are color-coded of when it might be potentially safer to buy that coin or get into that coin. And are there any exit indicators of when somebody might want to sell that coin, or do you just have a general stop loss?
So that's what I felt was missing, and so my programmer is diligently working like right now. And so I know, right now if you're looking at it, you can't see it, but hopefully another week or two you're going to see these colors, and it'll be it's being designed so that you can put a number in, and let's just say you want to know how much Satoshi does it need to get to, so you take a 20% profit or 30%, because when you're buying a coin, as soon as you get those, I would put in, if you are not a hodler, if you want to take profit in this as soon as it's profitable, then you set your sell order and you set a stop loss. So whatever, if you can like handle a 10% loss, then you can set your stop loss at 10%. So what I'm designing this to do is actually help you come up with the numbers to put in those blanks. On a regulated situation, I can't say buy, sell, do this, but I can help. It's like a calculator, right? Like, you use scientific calculators, do all this trigonometry. Well, I really haven't found one for that, so I need it personally. So why not share it with you guys, right? So it's basically being designed so that there's two areas. Like if you want to take this percentage, click here to do the calculations for you, and then here there's supposed to be a blank. So if you want to make 40% profit on this, then this is the Satoshi that you need to sell for, right? So when you're in that market, currently, like, they don't offer it like USD to buy and sell. You have to have like a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or Doge, or buying currencies. This is being designed just for Bitcoin buys, okay? Just for simplicity. It could get too complex for somebody that's new in the industry. So for simplicity, it's just a Bitcoin, which are made of 100 million Satoshis. So when you're in, say, Binance.com, and you're like trying to figure out how many Satoshis do I set the sell order for, then that's what it's designed. So you see that. And then stop loss, you may only want to do like a 10% stop loss. So if you're sleeping at night when it drops, it would sell automatically if it drops 10%. And that's so that for fundamentalists and somewhat technical, some technical traders, they don't put a sell order in. They're just going to watch it, and they're watching the heartbeat, and they're taking their technical strategies, and they're doing their geometry on a normal basis. And mostly technical traders go all in on one. Mm-hmm. And you and I have like 20 to 30 different altcoins, right? I can't watch 20 to 30 things. This is why you see those traders with like 5 computers around them. They're like, or unless you want to make a bot, and that's another one of those things that could scam. I don't know, so you can create a bot, but the bot's only good as you program it. I want to teach just the basics. 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4. And where you take this knowledge, go to the moon with it, right? But I think that everybody needs to understand the basic mathematics of what you're doing. And yes, there's some really cool things out there, but I want people that come into this space to have a good foundational understanding. And if they want to, take $2,000 and buy XYZ's bots and bot it up, by all means, do it. This is not designed to stay with me for the rest of your life. I want to educate you so you know the foundation kicked you out of the nest, and I want to see you fly.
Excellent. And do you offer any weekly training or anything like that inside the interface?
We do a Wednesday webinar on GoToWebinar, 8 to 9, and then I record it because I have people from all different time zones, and so then you'll get a follow-up email with the recording the next day.
Excellent. So there's additional value there too. And lastly, where can someone go to get more information then? Where can someone go to sign up?
So cryptoprophecy.com.
Okay, cryptoprophecy.com.
You'll have a link for that too, I'm sure. That's it. It's cryptoprophecy.com.
Well, excellent. I thank you, Crypto Girl, for your time. It's been very, very informative and educational.
Thank you so much. It was so great meeting you.
Yep. Take care. Bye.